What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Ace's Place 22, where I'm Ace, and this is my place, and this is another Ace's Thrills and Chills movie reviews, nights number 24 and 25. That's right, we're doubling up nights here at the end of the tail end of the month. Why? Because things are getting a little hectic. Spooky season is out of control, and we are just losing the battle for normalcy. I'm absolutely out of my mind, and that's why we're doing the things the way we are doing them. So yeah, let's get right into it. Like and subscribe, and the thrills and the chills will keep on coming. So we're going to take a look at night number 24, and here we go. As I just showed off in the beginning there, Nightmare on Elm Street collection. As I always do, I kind of go in detail on some of these movies. Other ones I just skip around. I don't really know. It depends on how I'm feeling. There is no rhyme or reason other than 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, get the crucifix. Those kind of rhymes. That rhyming has a reason. But let's just get right into it. Why on earth am I reviewing this specific Nightmare on Elm Street movie? I have no idea, but I'm talking about Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Pretty interesting movie. I'm not the greatest at explaining meta stuff where things in the real world take place within the movie and they know they're in a movie kind of deal, like the Scream franchise, also made by Wes Craven. But this right here was the tipping off point of mixing reality with the fictitious movie world, where you have Robert Englund playing himself, you have Heather Langenkamp playing herself, Wes Craven's playing himself, but they're all aware of the Freddy franchise, the Freddy movies. Robert Englund is aware that in the movies, I play Freddy Krueger. But in this movie, the spirit of Freddy Krueger is being manifested and coming to life, and it's leaving like Heather Langenkamp's character completely confused on like, is the Robert Englund I know in this, as my friend, my co-star, is he really Freddy Krueger? Like, what is going on? It's a lot of fun. To me, it's not the best Nightmare on Elm Street movie, but it is definitely one of the better ones. I don't have them on Blu-ray, so I don't know how they make them in like a DVD collection, but I do have the standard DVD. There are 2 of these to equal out the 8 Nightmare on Elm Street movies that are Robert Englund specific. There is another one, the remake that came out in 2009, starring Jackie Earle Haley. It's a decent enough movie. If you are interested in that character or that, type of horror, definitely give that one a watch. The Wes Craven's New Nightmare comes at the very tail end of all 6. I'll leave it at that. All 6 of his other Nightmare on Elm Street movies. This one definitely stands on its own to where you really don't need to watch the previous ones. It definitely helps because now you have, a little backstory on Heather Langenkamp's character. But it was the last solo Freddy movie for Robert Englund before they went and they did the Freddy vs. Jason film, which also brought back also brought back Robert Englund to be Freddy Krueger in his final live-action performance. The movie definitely has some thrills and chills in it for sure. It's got the little boy from Pet Sematary in it, Hugo something. Maybe it's got his name on the back. Probably not. Miko Hugo, something like that. He was in, like I said, the original Pet Sematary movie, which we'll actually be talking about in a minute. He was in Kindergarten Cop as a little boy, so very recognizable kid. I like the movie. I suggest it, recommend it, whatever. Go check it out. Wes Craven's A New Nightmare. And then next up is a little bit of we're all over the place because not only did we watch that movie, but I'm trying to remember the exact way these were watched. Because I believe we watched this yesterday, and then she watched this one yesterday. Because my daughter threw in a couple movies that she watched on her own as well, and I figure I'll mention them. So right here, I've got a 4-pack on Blu-ray of, appropriately named, Thrills and Chills. And this has the new Pet Sematary movie in it, A Quiet Place, Crawl, and Overlord. We watched all 3 of these. We watched 3 out of 4 of these. I did not watch Overlord with her because I don't think my daughter would necessarily like that one. I personally think Overlord is really, really good, so that's just a snuck-in little recommendation. The ones that I definitely know she watched on the 24th, because that was 2 days ago now. It's the 26th now. Now that we know there's a time frame, like, I'm a little backdated here. But Crawl, pretty great movie. It's a super simple movie about, I think they're in Florida, and the Everglades get, overrun with crocodiles, and it's like a hurricane, and it washes all these crocodiles into, like, the Midlands where people live, and they infest this one particular house where a girl is trying to rescue her father from these crocodiles. I believe they're crocodiles, maybe alligators. It's a pretty fun movie in the same vein as, like, Lake Placid and, like, stuff like that, where you just have a regular animal and it's just turned up a notch. Nothing crazy like Resident Evil monsters or nothing like that. It's just normal, oversized gators or crocodiles trying to kill you. Super fun movie. I recommend it. Popcorn flick. You're going to like it. Give it a go. Up next, she checked out A Quiet Place, which I've talked about here before on the channel. I actually mentioned it last time on my live that I think it is a highly overrated movie and I do not enjoy it. You know what? Actually, she watched this yesterday. She watched this on the 25th. Now that I'm thinking about it, she watched it last night. Oh, well. Doesn't matter. We're all out of order. But A Quiet Place, it's decent enough if you turn your brain off. But there's one big thing in there that triggers me to where I'm like, nope, I don't like this. I won't spoil it in case anybody, doesn't see it the way I do. I don't want to, taint your views. But the one she definitely watched on the 24th was the new Pet Sematary movie. Not a bad film. I personally like the Stephen King one. Well, they're both Stephen King adaptations, but the 1990s Pet Sematary film, I like that one a lot more. I like the actors in it a lot more. I don't like the daughter in it because her acting is just obnoxious. But that one again has that Miko Hughes, I think that's his last name, boy in it. Very, very little in it. And it all circles around this family moving into this small town, living right outside of like a very busy highway. Unfortunately, sad events strike this family and they lose one of their children, and the father is, grief-stricken, and the neighbor across the street is telling him, hey, we have this, but there is this place I know that will bring back the dead, essentially, and he warns him about it, but still tells him about it. The father does it, and he brings his child there, and unfortunately it does bring them back, but it doesn't bring them back the way you wanted them or the way you remembered. And so it's got a very dark and sad story to it, especially if you're a parent, because you can really connect with the father in this movie of like, oh my God, like I get it. Like what if I was in this position and I knew this would happen, would I do it? It's an interesting thing. I really like the idea of it. This one is pretty much the same exact thing. They just twist some of it a little bit on its head to where, you don't completely know the story, even if you've watched or read the original book. It has its own flavor. It's not for me personally, but this is a really great 4-pack, at least with 2 of them that I like, and then 2 more that my daughter liked. So there are those ones. Now, night number 25. A Quiet Place. We'll talk about that again. Bunkers all around. Aliens or monsters, whatever they are, infesting or invading. There we go. Earth, or coming from somewhere, and they're on Earth, and they're just these horrible monsters that can't hear, or they can't see you, but they can hear you. So any kind of sound absolutely will trigger them, and they'll hunt you down and kill you. And it all follows a family just trying to survive this, I guess, post-apocalyptic style world. Again, it's not for me. The idea is great on paper, but there's certain parts where my suspension of disbelief is just not there. I'm totally taken out of the movie to where it's just no thank you. If other people enjoy it, good for you. I don't want to yuck on your yum, so take that for you as you will. And yeah. And now, the next 3 that we watched yesterday, well, she watched a couple of them. I was bombing through the living room watching them with her here and there. But it is Stephen King's The Original Pet Sematary. This movie is really good. I just gave you the little synopsis of it. I like it quite a bit. When I was a little kid, my mom was a huge Stephen King fan, and she had like all of his, at the time, all of his novels that were out, and all of them were about that thick. I can remember sitting outside of the bathroom when she was, you know, in the 90s, putting all that hairspray in her hair and fucking getting the big poof and all that jazz, and just sitting outside the bathroom annoying her as I would. And she had a bookcase right by the bathroom door, and it had all of her, you know, Danielle Steele, I think that was it, Danielle Steele books. And there were a couple Tom Clancy books in there. There were tons of Stephen King books. And I just remember taking the Pet Sematary one. And if anybody knows this, the Pet Sematary book had like a raised cover to it, and it was Church the Cat in front of the cemetery. And it was just scary looking, and you could actually like feel the texture of like, you know, the bumps and stuff like that. And I just remember being like, oh man, I don't know what this is, but this is creepy. And then finding out there was a movie, and it's always been something I personally enjoy. I really like the first one. There is a sequel to Pet Sematary. It is not a Stephen King adaptation. It is more of a loose interpretation of what could come next. I like it. Not a lot of people do. Clancy Brown's in it. Gotta give him a shout out. Love me some Clancy Brown, even when he's a nasty bad guy like he is in that movie. So that's Pet Sematary. Very good movie. It's a little dated now, for sure, especially with one of the children that, you know, ends up losing their life. Not saying I have to see it a certain way, but when you paint the picture to look a certain way and then you present it a whole different way, it's odd. And then the next, you know what, we'll just keep it right in the same vein for Stephen King. I threw this in last night before we went to bed while there was some streams going on the 25th. This is Stephen King's short story, as always, turned into a feature-length film called Graveyard Shift. I absolutely love this movie for the simple fact that it is a straight monster movie. There is no slow burn, at least in my opinion. There's no like, what's going on? It is, we introduce you to a monster in the beginning of the movie, and then you just wait for the fucking victims to fall in their place. I absolutely love it. It all, yeah, pretty much, right? An abandoned textile mill, that's what it was. I couldn't remember. So there's a bunch of these factory workers that work in an old abandoned textile mill, and in the mines and stuff underneath the mill is this lurking beast. And it's fun. It's a fun monster movie. There is nothing more to it than that. It speaks 90s, and if you like just a fun throwaway monster flick, there you go, right there. That's it. You know, no Michael Myers, no Jason, no Nightmare on Elm Street, no Pinhead. This is a straight like, oh man, and it's fun. So check it out. That's Graveyard Shift. And then we're going to wrap it up with another maestro of horror, if you will, and that's M. Night Shyamalan. This is one of my daughter's favorite movies, and that is The Visit. This is a pretty decent, I guess you could call it a found footage film. Everything is, you know, first person through like a camera or something like that. I'm not going to ruin the twist to it because I honestly, call me stupid, naive, I did not see the ending coming. I was trying to figure out, like, all right, how does all this make sense? Because M. Night Shyamalan is known for his twists, and this one definitely delivers on that. I think this is a really fun movie. You have two kids going to meet their grandparents for the very first time. They have an estranged relationship. The grandparents have an estranged relationship with their own daughter, so that's why these preteens or teenage kids are going to meet their grandparents for the very first time, while the mother, they go off on their own. The mother sends them, and because of the lack of, like, the grandkids never met the grandparents, and the mother's not with them, it leaves a ton of creepiness of, like, oh my God, what the like, who do they go to? Like, what? I really like it. The movie does wear itself. Once you've seen it a handful of times, you're kind of like, But there's moments that I genuinely forget about where I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. That was in the movie. There you go. There's a scene specifically where the kids are playing, and it's kind of odd, but they're playing hide and seek underneath the house, like in the crawl space, like between the porch and the dirt. And there is a pretty good jump scare and, like, freaky moment all intertwined in that scene. A lot of, like, what the hell am I watching? And then once the the ending kind of comes to, you're like, oh my God. I thought it was fun. It's essentially like a harmless thriller, freaky horror movie that you could watch, with the younger ones. There's not any, like, expletive, deleted, X-rated nastiness in it that, you have to shy away from. This definitely has the makings to me of, I want to say a classic, but that's subjective. The Visit is a very fun movie, and that's that, I think. Is that it? That's it. That's it for all my movies. So, I think that's it. I do want to mention, because even though today is the 26th, I will be putting out, I don't know if I'll be doing it the 26th and the 27th. Maybe because I have tomorrow off from work. It's one of my it's a day off. And I might just cram everything into tomorrow. So, but we did some pretty fun things, or at least one fun thing today on the 26th for spooky season, and there should be, I didn't make a video for it. I don't know. There'll be pictures and stories and all that good stuff. But until then, folks, thank you guys so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this little episode of Aces, Thrills, and Chills, nights 24 and 25 of spooky season, then you better keep on coming back for the next few nights, because October is still upon us. And make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you in your nightmares.